Yo, what is going on YouTube? My name is Billy Davis. If you're new here, definitely be sure to like this video and also be sure to subscribe to the channel. Guys, Clash at the Castle. We've had some time to sit on it. I'm recording this video at like 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when this video is being recorded. So if I seem a little tired, just understand I've been working all day and that's why. I can't help it. I don't know what it is. But guys, we're going to be doing a full review, a breakdown of what happened at Clash at the Castle. We were originally going to do some live stuff, but honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was way too tired. I was just beat up from last night, had some things going on, and then today, the show being kind of midday, just constantly uploading TikToks and stuff like that. It was just a day. But guys, if you're new here, definitely be sure to like this video and also be sure to subscribe to the channel, because when you guys do that, we go to a different stratosphere. I see some people talking shit about the stratosphere shit. Do what you do. But without further ado, let me shut up. Let me stop talking. Some cool things happen. Let's just dive right into them.
Let's talk wrestling with Billy.
So, guys, Clash at the Castle took place in Glasgow, excuse me, Scotland, and this crowd on fire, like amazing. I love the international crowd. There's something about it that just really, it gets me the way that I need it to, and it's like, all right, yes, let's continue this on, you know what I'm saying? So Scotland, they were absolutely stellar, just opening up the show, and it was honestly so special. I literally was like, should be every wrestling show. And they brought like a decibel meter there, and they won't bring that to America because they know better. But no, Scotland was absolutely outstanding, and from literally top to bottom, just did exactly what they were supposed to do as fans. I love it. Were they better than Lyon, France? I'm sorry, and I hate to say it, but no. But Lyon was on a different level. Scotland, you still killed it. I don't care what nobody says. Cody Rhodes? That chant had me going all night. I was like, this is a great chant. I like this. So, speaking of Cody Rhodes, that's how the show kicked off. Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles. I know a lot of people probably felt some type of way about that match going on first, but let's be real here. Cody and AJ, they had a banger match in Lyon, France, but the story, it had just started to get its legs. That story in particular, AJ and Cody, had just, it's just now gaining those legs. So when, excuse me, when AJ Styles on SmackDown, like Mark Henry, Cody Rhodes, that's where you started to see the story go in a place where you're like, okay, yeah, this is good, and I really want to see this, but it wasn't all the way there. So having that match main event, as much as it is the WWE Championship, and it is the most prestigious prize in WWE, it just did not have the legs like the main event Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre had. It's just the true fact behind it. They added the stipulation of the I Quit match, which was great. Again, it still didn't do everything that I needed it to. But I will say this. Going into this, I had very little hope for what they were going to do. But coming out of the match, it made me respect and want more of Cody's run, because that was kind of like everybody's whole thing is, oh, Cody's run doesn't feel all that good. Why? Because his first match was against Logan Paul. Then he had the one against AJ that had no build to it. Then on top of that, he does another one with AJ, and it's this I Quit match. Coming out of this match, best thing that could have happened. The absolute best thing that could have happened. You started to see a side of Cody Rhodes that maybe you hadn't seen before with the aggression and all that. He just did everything that we wanted him to do. It was outstanding. The match made me feel like, oh man, this guy gets it. You know, if that makes any sense. My apologies for the cut there, guys. So yeah, the match was everything that we wanted it to be, and that was just, bringing Cody's mom into it, kind of playing up on the aggression of Cody, like I said prior to. getting that aggression out of him was going to be huge because Cody's ultimately been like the super duper good guy. But this is the new WWE. It's not what it was before. You don't need this baby face to be the white me baby face. You know, he doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be that. You know, you can let him get a little aggressive, like in the match where he bled and stuff like that. Like those things, they felt important. Now, that match did everything that I needed it to do. The following match, I felt a certain way about. Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. I'm going to talk about Jade and Bianca for a minute. I don't know if WWE... Because there was a move... Let me backtrack. There was a move where Jade Cargill went to go jump off the top rope, and it looked like it was going to be some kind of splash or maybe an elbow or a crossbody, something along those lines. It looked like it was going to be one of those, and Jade botched it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and beat up Jade for a botched move because we are all human. And I see a lot of people on Twitter hating on Jade for that. And, oh, they're not going to keep her around that long because she keeps doing that. She's still learning. She's still gaining those legs. That's why they put her with Bianca in the first place. Everybody understands that Jade Cargill can be a star. And I think you'd be foolish to not realize that. That's just me giving you my honesty here. But after looking at that and the outcome of the match and what it was great because Alba Fire and Isla Dawn do not want to take away from them. Absolutely outstanding. They are two immense talents. Do I think it was kind of soon to put it on them just because a lot of, I don't know, I feel like you didn't see them a lot on TV and stuff like that, so maybe that's just my only reasoning behind it. But it's still great that both of those, especially everything that happened with Alba Fire, you know, her having that moment in her home country, props to the WWE on that. Props to the WWE. But Jade and Bianca, I don't know where they go from here because I don't know if Jade's ready. And I could be wrong. Jade could be completely ready and I could just be that little Mark piece of shit on fucking YouTube talking shit. She could be 100% ready. But as I'm looking at it, you know, looking from the outside looking in, it felt like maybe she's not 100% ready to go off on her own, you know, but again, who am I to sit up and say that, you know? It's just one of them situations. The next match, Chad Gable, Sami Zayn. WWE, Monday Night Raw in particular, is cooking with the biggest skillet in frying a beautiful steak. Because the storytelling from this match in particular, top to bottom, amazing. Everything that we wanted out of it. Now, there was one thing that didn't happen. You didn't see Otis fully turn. What you actually had happen was what people really wanted in the first place. So people say, oh, we want Otis's turn. You don't want Otis's turn. You want Chad Gable more mad. Because it makes him more of a piece of shit heel. You see the psychological here? Otis isn't turning. Otis is a good guy. He can't turn. No, Gable just has to get so mad that he needs him out. Let me digest. Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, they go on to have a really solid wrestling match. I mean, really solid, and you could tell, like, just pieces of Kurt Angle and whoever. Like, it was just pure wrestling. I loved it. But then we get into the storytelling. You have Chad Gable. Let me start here. You have Maxine Dupree looking. She's got the belt, and Sammy's laying over the rope, and he's just laying there like a lifeless body. And you see Maxine, and she wants to hit him, but she can't. Because Maxine is so sweet, and she's so innocent. Why would she do that to Sami Zayn, especially because she knows Sami Zayn isn't a bad guy, right? Okay, fast forward. Now, keep in mind, Maxine's been walking around with a boot on. Well, there's a spot. Sami Zayn throws Chad Gable. Chad Gable accidentally hits Maxine, but you could kind of tell he probably could have, maneuvered himself a different way, whatever. You didn't have to hit Maxine. It almost felt on purpose. So then you see Otis lift Maxine up, and he walks away with Maxine. Now, what this does, because you have to understand that throughout the whole match, Otis and Gable had kind of been, what? One of those situations. So he walks out with Maxine. What that does is it distracted Gable to allow Sami to hit the haluva kick and then to finish the match ultimately. And again, Chad Gable comes up short. Chad Gable cannot get the job done. Not in the big match. He can't do it. Why, though? Well, in Chad Gable's eyes, it's the weak links. He's dealing with weak links, and he now understands that. You've seen it in his face. They had a shot. I'll throw it up in the video somewhere. His face told the expression of, oh, whatever this was is over. I think he's got a special tag team he's actually getting ready to call. Just saying. So the story was never to have Otis turn. It was always to have Chad Gable get more angry. And in the long run, it makes a lot of sense. It's just common knowledge. The heel has to play the heel, and he needs to be more of a heel, which we're actually going to talk about a little bit more and later in this video. Bayley, Piper Niven. Piper Niven looked outstanding in her match against Bayley. She did not win the match. I will just be upfront and say it, but Piper Niven looked absolutely outstanding in that match. She looked like who she was before, and I love that so much for her. And you've seen Bayley at the end of the match give her a nod of respect, and you've seen Piper Niven just get cheered all the way through that match, rightfully so. If anybody deserves it, it was her. She had been booked horribly for so long. Dewdrop? Yeah, don't think I didn't forget. No, that's Piper Niven, and she is a badass. And she looked like a badass. She represented that country so well. Ultimately, Bayley picks up the W because the real story going into this is Bayley and Nia Jax. History, everything. 4-horsewoman, Bayley's friendship with Becky, you could tell that. There's so many things going into the Bayley-Nia Jax thing. That match will be taking place in Cleveland, Ohio at Summerslam, which, by the way, if anybody is going to be in Cleveland, Ohio, please make sure that we are just as loud because we cannot as Americans, I'm kidding, guys, I love everybody, allow these people to just outperform us. They are doing so good. So good. And I'm so jealous. I want to go to a show like in Scotland or Lyon, France. I do. Outstanding stuff, man. So, again, ultimately the story is to get to Bayley, Nia Jax, Piper Niven. You had some stuff with Chelsea Green in there. She had came out with a luchador mask. Nacho Chelsea, I think is what Michael Cole called her. I was like, oh, man. But just diving into that match, it was a good match for what it was. It was great. It was there. It allowed Piper Niven to have her moment. Bayley looked great through it. Outstanding stuff. Let's move on to SummerSlam because we know that's where these big matches are going to be taking place. Now, finally, we've reached our wit's end, and we enter the main event. El Campeon. Drew McIntyre. Glasgow, Scotland. The home country of Drew McIntyre. Damian Priest looks like almost the ultimate bad guy. At least stepping in there. Because the more you dive into the match, the more you realize, oh, man, we're probably getting a Damian Priest face turn. That's coming soon. Drew came out to a huge pop. I mean, it was ginormous. Damian Priest, shadowed with boos. So much so that I could not hear Damian Priest's music. I could not hear it. All I heard was the boos. Amazing. Amazing. And then you get into the ring announcement of it. Damian goes to hold his belt up, like they do at the hard cam. Go to hold his belt up. Drew McIntyre steps in front of him to block him from the camera. Just amazing work. Amazing work. Now, there was what looked to be a mistake. Now, we obviously have no update on anything or anything along those lines yet, so we're going to hope that all is well. Damian Priest went to go do his springboard front flip that he does off the middle rope going to the outside and completely got caught up on the top rope, tangled. Thankfully, the rope caught him. Thankfully. Because if not, it looked like it was going to be a disaster. So I'd rather it be a sprained ankle or a hamstring or anything along those lines rather than something horrible happening. You know, a neck, anything. And it also, this spot, as bad as it looked, saved the match. Because what happened is, I don't know if we were supposed to do this, but Damian Priest looked like the ultimate good guy through this because he was fighting through adversity now. Now Damian Priest had to fight through adversity on one leg. He's hitting Hurricane Ranas off the top rope. He's hitting razor's edges, on one leg. Drew McIntyre is not a small man by any stretch of anybody's imagination. Yeah, he's a big fella. So I'm just saying, Damian Priest, whatever you had said about him before, thinking like, oh, this guy isn't a good enough champion or he's not the guy and he's not ready and ultimately he's going to lose to Drew. Why? Because they were in Drew's home country? No, they didn't have to do that. Gunther is going to win that World Heavyweight Championship, I'm here to tell you. Gunther is winning that thing. He's going to go on and he's going to tell some great stories. But ultimately, Damian Priest, the story with Drew McIntyre, and we'll get into who his story is with here momentarily, is ultimately bigger than the World Heavyweight Championship. So let me digress. Damian Priest was hitting all of those moves, and he looked great. Now, during the match, the ref was standing on the outside, and what ended up happening was he ended up getting knocked off the apron, so he got knocked out. Drew hits Damian with the Claymore kick, and they need a new ref. Well, out comes a new ref. A new referee does come out. And the camera angle of it is you can only see the back of the ref t-shirt. Comes out, black pants on, everything looks great. We got a new ref in. 1, 2. Silence. And you'll never believe who it was. CM Punk. CM Punk was there to ruin Drew McIntyre's moment once again. Ultimately, you've seen Drew look like he had just seen a ghost. CM Punk gets backed into the corner by Drew. What do you do when you're backed into a corner? I'll tell you what I'm doing. Low blowing. Why you got me in this corner like that? Bloop. Now you're cooked. You're cooked. Now this match is over. South of heaven. Ref gets back up, back into the ring. 1, 2, 3. Easy storytelling. Easy storytelling. And now what did we do here? Like I talked about earlier with Chad Gable, you've now made the heel more of a heel. You just embarrassed him in front of his home country, the country that he was supposed to make proud. You just embarrassed him. And what? You expect him not to cause a havoc? Yeah, you're crazy. He's causing a havoc. It's going to be a real problem on Monday Night Raw. Now, from my understanding, CM Punk will not be at Raw in Corpus Christi, Texas, because he is actually going to get cleared. That's what we're hoping for. That's what they're saying. It looks as if he will be cleared, and SmackDown will be in Chicago on Friday. So, obviously, you can imagine CM Punk will be in Chicago. At least that's what I take from it. Ultimately, man, this show was everything that it needed to be. I always feel some type of way about WWE in the summer. It's just something about wrestling in the summer. I don't know. It's not until SummerSlam where things really start to get exciting and we start talking about WrestleMania again, and we're fantasy booking our way to WrestleMania. You know, these months always feel a little rough, but WWE recently has done a great job. 5 matches on a show is not a lot. You're not putting me to sleep. I appreciate it. And ultimately, it's allowing for stories to be sent through the system like they need to, I guess, ultimately is what I'm trying to say. All in all, it was a great show. Great show. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the outcome. I seen some people, I posted a short earlier. Some people were not happy with my takes about how I feel like Drew was snubbed. Hopefully you guys watch this now and realize that I love the storytelling behind it. I understand that Drew got snubbed 3 times, and ultimately it had to happen like that. I'm not saying like, oh, Drew got snubbed and I'm about to cry. No, it ultimately had to happen. It ultimately did, because realistically, Drew and Punk is bigger than the World Heavyweight Championship. Clash at the Castle 2024, Glasgow, Scotland. Absolutely outstanding. Again, Scotland, great crowd. Great crowd. Oh, my goodness. Great crowd. Guys, if you're new here, definitely be sure to like this video. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because we get sent to a different stratosphere. We've gained over like 1,000 subscribers in like the past 5 days. Absolutely outstanding, man, and I'm so thankful for all you guys. Guys, also, go ahead and follow me on Twitch. I'm going to try doing some Twitch stuff with wrestling and whatnot. Also, you guys can follow me on TikTok. I wasn't able to post any of my live reactions on YouTube because they won't allow it due to copyright reasons with the PLEs. But they're all over on TikTok. You guys can go watch all my live reactions of what was happening. And hopefully we should be back for Raw. I know we'll have shorts up and everything like that on Monday for Raw. But other than that, man, this show was outstanding and did everything that it needed to do. CM Punk is a Division I hater. You love to see it. I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace.